Yo, what is up, people? What is up? Oh my gosh. What is happening in the gaming news today? It's your boy MM2K. Let me do this. Let me start this event in the Discord because you can listen to us live on Twitch or in the Discord. Yes, we're now live in the Discord for anybody that wants to join us there. Let me do this. I think I have the tweet. Let me look for the tweet that has the Discord information in it. Let's see here. Oh, come on. Stop that. Let's copy that link. Let's put it here in the Discord if you want to join us here. Join us on Twitch or in Discord. So you can check that link. It'll tell you how to join us in the Discord. Man, oh man, we got a special show for you today. This is more or less like I hate that. Manually unpin after the stream, okay? All right, just let's go. Microsoft has announced 1,900 layoffs across Activision Blizzard, Bethesda, and APK. If I'm looking at this right, hold on. All right, let me go find the story. I should have the story like right here. Come on. Let's look it up. Microsoft Xbox layoffs. I got two. Here it goes from The Verge. Wow. Okay, so this is according to The Verge that Microsoft lays off 1,900 Activision Blizzard and Xbox employees. Blizzard president Mike Ybarra has decided to leave, and Blizzard's survival game has been canceled. Holy crap. The gaming world is in a frenzy because of this. This is going to affect all of us. I'm going to explain how in a little bit. But before we get into all that, I got to pay the bills, meaning I got to do the advertisement of our platform because this is a hell of a platform. Like yesterday, and shout out to my brother Cold Blood Sensei. You're one of a kind, man. You've really been helping out the platform and making sure that we stay on our P's and Q's. And one of the things that we haven't been doing is advertising properly. And Cold Blood helped us do that yesterday. So let me go and show you guys something. This is first and foremost, this is our website, PNTS Network, that houses all of the stuff that the legacy PNTS network. When I say legacy, I say that because we are changing the branding to GEiX. So all the legacy PNTS network people, all of their content is now going to go over to GEiX. But while we're going through that transition, you can still catch all of our content here. You can catch our YouTube, Twitch, all that stuff here. You can catch our content that's directly on the GEiX channel, or you can catch the content that's coming from the GEiX contributors. You can catch it all here on the website. You can check out our articles. And if you want to just check out an individual contributor, you can just go to the members page. Like for instance, you can come here to MM2K Gaming. That's me under members. Come here and you'll see my page. And look, right here, you'll even see us on Twitch Live. It's my YouTube content. These are all the links where I participate at, all that good stuff. I got to put on the PNTS Network Patreon. That's coming soon because we got a lot of great stuff there. We got a podcast dedicated to the Patreon that we do like once or twice a week, at least once a week. It's called The Prognosis. You're missing out on a lot of great content. Then we do like 4K 60 streams. We do a whole bunch of stuff there. When me and Cold Blood are planning for NRO podcasts, at times we'll go and we'll put our planning session in there. So definitely go and check us out over at MM2K Gaming over at the PNTS Network site, or just check out the PNTS Network site. But if you want to understand what this GEiX thing is that we're about to converge to, again, GEiX is like our gamer, creator, and just game player platform, where if you want to just go and check out the latest and greatest gaming conversations in the community, the latest and greatest gaming stuff all together, just come to GEiX, check it out right there. There you go. The Discord, you can get access to the Discord, all that great stuff. So there you have it. I just wanted to share that with y'all. Now, what I haven't done is I haven't told you everywhere where I'm at appropriately. The best way to find out where I'm at and where I'm creating content is to go to GEiX Discord. So go to that GEiX tab on PNTS Network, go to the GEiX Discord, and just make sure you're a member there, and you'll get notifications whenever I go live, right? Another thing you can do is just make note of these individual channels. This is the HNDC Hub. This is where I'm at right now. This is where we're recording from. So if you're watching this video on demand from YouTube, this is where the live shows are recorded at. That's twitch.tv HNDC Hub. If you want to go and check out the great gaming that we have, where's YouTube? View your channel. If you want to check out the great gaming content that we have like this, like when we bring it over on demand, go to MM2K Gaming News. That's where you'll see the content from here come over, or just like the gaming talk sessions that we had yesterday. We had a hell of a session yesterday. Me, Cold Blood, then we had Levon jump in the chat. We had Devil Shooter, longtime supporter like Cold Blood, jump in the chat. We had a great time. Was just cutting up, acting a fool. You'll definitely want to check that out over on MM2K Gaming News. But our game streams primarily will be on MM2K Gaming Streams. Okay, got a swanky new banner. Come over there and check us out at MM2K Gaming Streams. We have a full playthrough of Remnant 2 between me and Cold Blood, and we beat it yesterday. So you can see that entire playthrough. Maybe you're stuck in an area, you don't know how to handle it. Come and check out our gameplay sessions over there. We got other stuff too. We got my Spider-Man playthrough, Cyberpunk, and we got more. So definitely come over to MM2K Gaming News. Last but not least, there's MM2K Gamer Plus, Members Plus. This is where, if you're not a member, you can come sample some of our member content that we make public every now and again. So if you're not a member and you're like, I want to see what these guys are getting, come over here. You can get a sample of it here. Periodically, we'll drop stuff out. Like I already dropped something out this week. We're going to drop something out next week as well. But you can come and get access to some of the stuff as it goes public over there. All right. So, okay, that was a mouthful. Now let's get on to the show. Wow. Woo! Where do I start? I guess I'm going to start here. Microsoft lays off 1,900 Activision Blizzard and Xbox employees. President Mike Ybarra has also decided to leave, and Blizzard's survival game has been canceled. This is courtesy of The Verge. This is by Tom Warren, and it says as follows. Microsoft is laying off 1,900 employees at Activision Blizzard and Xbox this week. While Microsoft is primarily laying off roles at Activision Blizzard, some Xbox and ZeniMax employees will also be impacted by the cuts. The cuts work out to roughly 8% of the overall Microsoft gaming division that stands at around 22,000 employees in total. Verge has obtained an internal memo from Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer that confirms the layoffs. It's been a little over 3 months since the Activision Blizzard and King teams joined Microsoft. As we move forward in 2024, the leadership of Microsoft Gaming and Activision Blizzard is committed to aligning on a strategy and an execution plan with a sustainable cost structure that will support the whole of our growing business. Together, we've set priorities, identified areas of overlap, and ensured that we are aligned on the best opportunities for growth. As part of this process, we made the painful decision to reduce the size of our gaming workforce by approximately 1,900 roles out of the 22,000 people on our team. The gaming leadership team and I are committed to navigating this process as thoughtfully as possible. The people who are directly impacted by these reductions have all played an important part in the success of Activision Blizzard, Cinemax, and Xbox teams, and they should be proud of everything they've accomplished. We are grateful for all the creativity, passion, and dedication they have brought to our games, our players, and our colleagues. We will provide our full support to those who are impacted during the transition, including severance benefits informed by local employment laws. Those who roles will be impacted will be notified, and we ask that you please treat your departing colleagues with respect and compassion that is consistent with our values. Looking ahead, we'll continue to invest in areas that will grow our business and support our strategy of bringing more games to more players around the world. Although this is a difficult moment for our team, I am confident as ever in your ability to create and nurture the games, stories, and worlds that brings players together. Phil. So it continues. Alongside the layoffs, Blizzard president Mike Ybarra has decided to leave the company. As many of you know, Mike previously spent more than 20 years at Microsoft. Now that he has seen the acquisition through as Blizzard's president, he has decided to leave the company, says Microsoft's gaming content studio president Matt Booty in an internal memo. Microsoft plans to name a new Blizzard president next week. Adam, Blizzard's chief design officer, is also leaving the company. As one of Blizzard's co-founders, Alan has had a broad impact on all of Blizzard's games. His influence will be felt for years to come, both directly and indirectly, as Alan plans to continue mentoring young designers across the industry, says Booty. Blizzard's previously announced survival game has also been canceled as part of these changes. Booty says Microsoft will be shifting some of these people to be working on several promising new projects. Blizzard is in early stages of development. This is a tweet from Mike Ybarra. He says, I want to thank everyone who is impacted today for their meaningful contributions to their teams, to Blizzard, and to players' lives. It's an important and incredibly hard day, and my energy and support will be focused on all those amazing individuals impacted. This is no way a reflection. Let's go to the tweet. This is no way a reflection. Okay, come on. This is in no way a reflection on your amazing work. If there's anything I can help with, connections, recommendations, etc., DM me. To the Blizzard community, I also want to let you know that today is my last day at Blizzard. I'm going to read this later because we have a whole section dedicated to Mike Ybarra. Mike Ybarra actually made me do this. I'll explain why in a little bit. The layoffs came the same month Riot Games, Google, Discord, Twitch, Unity, eBay, and others announced cuts. Microsoft completed its $68.7 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard. I'm gonna put a place mark on that because I thought I heard on CNBC somewhere that because the deal had to be extended, that now the acquisition was bloated to $75 billion. But that's superficial to all this. But just for the sake of accuracy, I just wanted to put a little small pinhole on that. Since Microsoft completed the acquisition of Activision Blizzard in October, following 20 months of battles with regulators in UK and US, former Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick stepped down at the end of December, with Microsoft not appointing a direct replacement. Instead of a suite of Activision Blizzard executives now report up to Matt Booty. Today's layoffs come just a few months after big Xbox leadership changes saw Sarah Bond promoted to Xbox president, leading all Xbox platform and hardware work. Booty was also promoted to president of game content and studios, which includes overseeing Bethesda, Cinemax Studios, and Activision Blizzard. Microsoft last announced big layoffs a year ago, affecting 10,000 employees. Software makers due to report its fiscal quarter 2 2024 earnings next week, which for the first time will include results from the impact of the Activision Blizzard acquisition. There's Matt Booty's internal memo. I don't feel like it says what's next. I'll read the what's next. Those impacted are being informed in meetings starting today, given the challenging, okay, details of I don't, no matter what the reasons behind the decisions, they are never made lightly. I don't want to read this right now. It's a lot. Well, you know what? No. Let's go over Matt Booty's part. Let's do that. Because that could be a very important part. Matt Booty's internal memo in full. Blizzard team, as you may have read in Phil's note today, is a challenging day as we say goodbye to some of our colleagues. This is a difficult process, but it's one that will best enable Blizzard and Xbox to deliver ambitious games for our players, run more platforms and more places. One for our players on, okay, let me read this again. I'm glad I read this. This is a difficult process, but it is one that will best enable. Listen to this. Cold blood. Please clip this. Did you know how I fumble across stuff? Listen to this. I need y'all to listen to this because we got to have a real conversation. When we get to the impact portion and we talk about what this means for Xbox, we need people to be out of denial and we need people to listen to the words that are coming out of their mouths. He says, this is a difficult process, but it is one that will best enable. Here, let me do this because I know I keep stopping and you guys like, why you keep stopping? I really want you guys to see this. This is a difficult process, but it is one that will best enable Blizzard and Xbox to deliver ambitious games for our players on more platforms and in more places than ever before. Did y'all hear that? I don't think y'all did. As a matter of fact, let me clip this. Why did the PlayStation 5 just boot up on my computer? Okay, let's do this. Okay. I'm gonna go to my Twitter, and I'm gonna put that out there right now. Because y'all need to see this. Wow. Really? Telling statement from Matt Booty during the aftermath of the MS Gaming layoffs today. Join us live now as we discuss impacts for the future of Xbox and what it means for gamers. https twitch.tv/HNDC hub. I'm glad I read that. Okay, come on, keyboard, stop. I'm going to read that again. I put telling statement here. I'm going to post that. Let me post that. Let me go home and I'm going to put it up here because this just needs to be crystallized, laminated, whatever, etched in stone so people can get out of their denials. I put, wow. Telling statement from Matt Booty during the aftermath of the Microsoft gaming layoffs today. Join us live now as we discuss impacts for the future of Xbox and what it means for gamers. And it's like, here's Matt Booty's internal memo in full. It's, again, Blizzard team, as you may have read in Phil's note, today is a challenging day as we say goodbye to some of our colleagues. This is a difficult process, but it is one that will best enable Blizzard and Xbox to deliver ambitious games for our players on more platforms and in more places than ever before. Now, granted, we know that Activision Blizzard, I know I can hear the arguments right now. That's why he said Blizzard. No, they would have said Blizzard and left it at that. But it will be a process that will best help Xbox to have Blizzard deliver more games on more platforms. He says Blizzard and Xbox. To deliver ambitious games for our players on more platforms and in more places than ever before. Just put a place marker on that, because we got to deal with this in levels. And right now we're talking about how this is impacting we're just going over the news at the moment. We're just going over the news at the moment. And I just wanted to make sure that we had a place marker for that somewhere, because you know what people will do. They will be in denial. Oh, no. He's talking to the Blizzard team. So it's just Activision Blizzard. They were already third party. Y'all can say what y'all want. They are telling y'all everywhere, in little chunks here, little chunks there. This is one that will best enable Blizzard and Xbox to deliver ambitious games for our players on more platforms and in more places than ever before. Blizzard is already part of Xbox. What is the point of putting Blizzard in Xbox? It's already assumed if you're talking about Blizzard, you're talking about Xbox. But it is one that will best enable Blizzard to deliver ambitious games, right? So they're just giving you little snippets. It's like what Tim Scott said. We don't have an official announcement yet, so we're going to give you little snippets here and there. And I don't think that these are like wide open or open for concept at all. I think they're telling, but they do it in a way to where it's not like really an official announcement yet. So, but for those diehards, it's open for interpretation. I really don't think it's open for interpretation. I think the writing's on the wall. You bought ABK. They know how to make stellar games. You don't. You don't have a stellar game in your library within 10 years. And I'm not talking about from a subjective level. I'm talking about when we talk to gaming fans and we see what gaming fans are flocking to, they don't have a stellar game in their lineup. Oh, Forza is... Stop it. Forza is selling an Xbox platform? Huh? Oh, yeah, sure it is. That's why Xbox One is now outpacing the Xbox Series. Yeah, sure. Yep. But they're making the gap up in the PlayStation. No, they're not. And it is not until they bring in ABK numbers next month or next week that on the revenue side, they can close the gap between them and PlayStation. So that statement right there is very telling. It was necessary for us to crystallize that. But let's continue on. Let's go back to Matt Booty's comment. It says, in addition to these events today, Mike Ybarra and I have been discussing his future and some of his personal passions for some time. As many of you know, Mike previously spent more than 20 years at Microsoft. Now that he has seen the acquisition through his Blizzard's president, he has decided to leave the company. As we move forward, we will continue to build on positive momentum that Mike created and strive to continue exceeding the expectations of Blizzard players. I want to thank Mike for his leadership and for his partnership and counsel since the deal closed. I know he plans to travel and spend more time with his family. We wish him the very best. Additionally, Alan Adham, Blizzard's chief design officer, is leaving the company. As one of Blizzard's co-founders, Alan has had a broad impact on all Blizzard's games. His influence will be felt for years to come, both directly and indirectly, as Alan plans to continue mentoring young designers across the industry. The new Blizzard president will be announced next week. What happens next? Those that are impacted will be informed in meetings. So this is like preliminary X's and O's stuff. Details on today's actions. The changes announced today reflects a focus on products and strategies that hold the most promise for Blizzard's future growth, as well as identified areas of overlap across Blizzard and Microsoft gaming. Today's actions affect multiple teams within Blizzard, including development teams. As part of this focus, Blizzard is ending development on its survival project game and will be shifting some of those people to be work on several promising new projects Blizzard has in the early stages of development. No matter the reason behind these decisions, they are never made lightly. Changes like these affect lives of colleagues and friends, and we are all grateful for their meaningful contributions to Blizzard and its world-class lineup of games. As Phil stated, we will provide our full support to those who are impacted during the transition, including severance benefits informed by local employment laws. I understand that this is a challenging time and that it can be a lot to process. I haven't met any of you yet, and hearing about these decisions from me may be difficult. Today, I'm here on Blizzard's Irvine campus, and I'm personally committed to supporting you as teams and individuals keep you informed and approaching this transition period with care and transparency. Thank you for working through these changes with us. Together, we will continue to create amazing games for our players with a culture that empowers everyone to be their most authentic selves and do their best work. So that's the story. Let's now do this. Let's go to the social media reactions to this, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff. I'm not going to read you what I see behind the scenes. I'm just looking at some notes. Let me see. They're picking with the Xbox influencers. But see, this is my point about all this. It's never good to laugh at layoffs. I know there was a situation, and not to bring this back all up again, and this individual can speak for themselves. I know there was a situation with the Bungie layoffs where one of my favorite creators, Reforged Gaming, had said something that wasn't too commandeering, but there was context behind that. He has if you haven't done the homework, and when I say done the homework, not looking at salacious stuff online, I mean really done the homework, he has had some egregious things happen to him due to Bungie employees. So when he was making his comment about not caring that, and or not stopping not caring that a few people at Bungie got laid off, he was saying, look, the entire stratosphere, everybody's getting laid off. And the way the question was posed to him was, are you going to stop what you're doing right now to report on Bungie being laid off? And he's like, no, like these layoffs are happening everywhere. This is not news at the moment. And even if it is news, it's not worth me stopping what I'm doing to report on this because a few employees got laid off at Bungie. And again, you got to remember, he's talking about a group that really did some nefarious things to him. Now, was it the most accommodating comment? Probably not. But I understood where he was coming from in the context of the question that was being asked. And of course, that got taken out of context. And the reason why I got taken out of context because someone was edging them like, why aren't you, this is bad PlayStation news. Like, again, this is the feeble minds that we're dealing with here. this has been like, these layoffs are everywhere. This is not like, I'm not framing this as bad Microsoft news. I mean, it's going to have a negative impact for Microsoft in a section of its gamers, not all. Some won't care about anything that derives from this, but it's the negative thing for the industry. I've always labeled these as a negative thing for the industry. And in that sense, I agree with Reforged Gaming. This is not negative PlayStation news or negative Xbox news or negative Google news. The whole industry is being set ablaze. The whole house of cards seem to be falling down at the moment. This is not a Microsoft thing, and this is not a Sony thing. This is a tech industry thing. And people got to get out of their feeble minds and try to expand and learn something, for crying out loud. A lot of you, that's why the more senior people, let me give you an example. And I hate naming names, but people think I be mean with them. So there's somebody that, my longtime supporters, if you notice, I'm not patient with you at all when it comes to some of this feeble-minded activity. Why? Because you guys I've been doing this since 2017. I've been talking about this stuff, the same stuff, since 2017. All this stuff that I told you, Microsoft trying to keep Game Pass honest. So they're going to be buying big companies. All that stuff that we hinted towards, even me hinting towards them buying Bethesda and then it actually happening. All that stuff that we talked about, even when it comes to Mike Ybarra, there's a whole story behind Mike Ybarra, and I'm going to show y'all shortly, and how I predicted that. I predicted today. I predicted today. Oh, bullcrap, cap, MM. I'm going to show you. Do not go anywhere. I predicted today with Mike Ybarra. Don't go anywhere. The reason why I have less tolerance with y'all is because y'all been doing this for 7 years. I've been doing this since 2017, and y'all still act dumb as nails. It gets nauseating at some point in time. How flippin' stupid do you have to be before you can separate the forest from the trees? I had such a I thank God, really, and I hate to sound so over the top and dramatic, but I thank God for the people that I've surrounded myself, my circle that I have right now, which is a very small circle, but thank you. And I thank you for the followers that are here that talk with some goddamn sense. It was so refreshing yesterday to be doing that game stream with my brother Cold Blood. Then having Devil Shooter jump in there. Then having even Lavon Kaysen jump in there. And people talking with some goddamn clarity. Because the rest of you, I just don't know anymore. Y'all are so mesmerized by people with their fancy production and these high numbers next to their names. They can tell you anything. They can literally excrete on a popsicle stick, tell you it's vanilla pudding, and you'll gobble it up. I don't get y'all. We've been talking about this since 2017. I've been rapping to my brother Cold Blood behind the scenes. Cold Blood said to me, I knew this was going to happen. Shout out to the homie Prince Tybo out there on Twitter. I knew this was going to happen. We knew this was going to happen. That's why it wasn't even news. It wasn't news until Mike Ybarra was impacted. I'll explain to you why. I explained to it partially or mostly. I predicted this. That's why when y'all interact with me now, like I had some interaction with my homie ODG Gamer. I love ODG Gamer, but we got to stop all this Colt Eastwood effery, man. The bro is just out there trying to make some money, man. He's trying to make some money. He's trying to be a YouTuber. Don't fall for the YouTubery, man. That's what bro's trying to do. I'm not gonna knock his hustle. That's what he do. Time after time, every time he said something important, it hasn't come true. Well, he predicted that Hellblade was coming out May 21st. So what? Did that shake the grounding world? Did he tell you that the game was $50 digital only? It's going to be another AA special? Did he tell you that? If he didn't tell you that, but he told you it's coming out May 21st, come on, man. Separate the forest from the trees. Nothing against him. If that's what you want to opine in and indulge in, fine, but understand what it is. I don't sit there and watch Love and Hip Hop and try to find out my ways to live my life, the secrets of life and success by watching Love and Hip Hop, a whole bunch of people with inflated butts and breasts fighting each other that got millions of dollars. No, it's entertainment. It's something to laugh at. As long as you put what you're watching in the proper perspective, it doesn't matter what you consume. But you Mensa candidates, y'all really look at these YouTubers just YouTubing, ain't telling y'all a damn thing of any significance with any factual surrounding around it, and y'all lap it up. Like I said, like that. This is I ain't just bust off on this. This is vanilla pudding, and y'all just lap it up. ODG and Tip Diamond at different times came back to the MM2K Gaming News channel, said some silly stuff, man. I gave it to them. Y'all been following me for 7 years, man. Wake the frick up. I get tired of I'm exhausted with having dumb conversations with people that should know better. I hate naming names, but I just want y'all to understand why I don't have that tolerance anymore. Well, now, I'm not going to have the same stupid wish it on the store conversations. Y'all got to follow the facts. You can have your favorite brand. Your favorite brand. Look, we were in we were in a chat yesterday. This is how to signify. I don't care what you like. Everybody in the chat had a different favorite platform. Mine, GFN, Cold Bloods, PlayStation 5, Devil Shooter, PC, Lavon Kaysen, Steam Deck. All of us, favorite different platforms, still could talk sensibly about gaming. I have no tolerance. I am not a YouTuber trying to YouTube. I want to have a platform that has reach because, God damn it, somebody got to represent the sensible-minded people. But I'm not a YouTuber that's YouTubing like them. Can today be the beginning for sensible conversations? Even if we don't agree and land somewhere, let's please pivot from fact. Do not bring me talking points from YouTubers that are YouTubing. All of those that were sitting there that couldn't separate the forest from the trees and did not recognize that this was a tech industry bubble thing. Not, oh, yeah, that's bad for Bungie. Suck it, pony copium. I want all those people that listen to all those content creators go somewhere else unless you're willing to expand your horizons and have reasonable conversations. If that's all you've been fed and you don't know any better and you want something new, you know something's wrong, fine, come on over here. But don't bring that silly, stupid conversation over here. I don't want to have it. It's stupid. It's too stupid. Sean the Gamer was in the chat, even though he sold me out yesterday and voted for me to play Foam Stars. Damn you, Sean! Shout out to my brother Sean. Intelligent, even when we don't agree. Even when we don't agree. I don't want that dumb conversation. I don't want that dumb talking point. I'm lapping the excretion from Xbox or PlayStation or whoever. They got me chained up in the basement and feeding me puppy chow. I don't want to have those type of conversations anymore. I don't want to tolerate them anymore. Today is now a pivot point. Why is it a pivot point? We're going to start here. Stop being in denial. Blizzard team, as you may have read in Phil's notes, today is a challenging day as we say goodbye to some of our colleagues. This is a difficult process, but it is one that will best enable Blizzard and Xbox, hear me out, to deliver ambitious games for our players on more platforms and in more places than ever before. No. You just talking about Blizzard. Get your ass out of here. You're not, that silly stuff is not welcome here. Are we ready to change regardless of our favorite platform? Are we willing to change and have real conversations? I'm not, even though I got my issues with Xbox, I am not using today as to point out, oh yeah, Xbox, suck it, Xbox. No, this is horrible. I've been on the other end of layoffs multiple times from the same damn companies. Like, damn, why do you want? But the first time I had nothing to do with me. First time that the company just, the division I was in was just in a bottleneck. The second and third times were related to each other, had everything to do with me. I was making too much money for what I was doing at the time, because I'd said to him, I was like, I don't want to manage anymore. There was new leadership. I didn't want nothing to do with how the new leadership wanted us to do managing. It didn't make sense to me. There was this new philosophy that I thought was detrimental to me being an effective leader. I said, I don't want to manage anymore. And they can't take away my pay. So the first time they tried to lay me off, but see, I crafted and won an award for one of our more pivotal systems. They even tried to get Chennai overseas, or experts in Chennai, to replicate what I did, and they can't, because it's so complex based upon the silliness that they created. They went and negotiated these deals. They made promises they couldn't keep, and fathomably beyond a regular system. And now they need somebody to work, to watch constantly all these crazy deals that they negotiated and the things that they've promised to the clientele. And there's no way that they tried to have teams replicate what I made, and they couldn't do it. So they brought me back. But then I was like, I'm not managing. So they were like, oh, all right. So they tried to make me an independent contractor. Then after making me an independent contractor, they thought they found a solution. They thought they made a program, and they didn't. But they tried it again, and I came back. And we're still battling over that because I have some lost pay due to that. That's why I always say, there's a tumultuous relationship between me and the company where I'm at, and any given opportunity I have to where if I can make the money that I'm making with them, if I can make it elsewhere, I'm going. I'll be on camera, do all that, so y'all can see my pretty Hollywood face all day on the camera. But because of where I work, what I deal with, and the type of top secret stuff that we interact with, I can't. I'm not allowed. So I've been impacted by layoffs. I don't think they're funny. But again, I recognize a lot of you don't have that business acumen. You may work in an office and may push some pencils, but you still don't have a business acumen. You don't understand how this works, and that's okay. I do. I made business decisions. I've talked to high profile people. I've managed managers. I've testified in some serious cases worth millions and millions of dollars, domestically and internationally, given depositions all over the place, participated in getting uniform commercial code drafted with even competitors. I've worked with the FBI. I've worked with the SEC. I got all that on my jacket. So I understand you guys don't. And I'm not trying to be braggadocious, because if I was trying to be braggadocious, I would say that all the time. But the problem with y'all is y'all just want to have a war of words. Y'all don't want to learn anything or share knowledge and expand on knowledge. That's y'all's problem. So what y'all do is y'all just stay in these silos where you're regurgitating a bunch of BS. So when stuff like today happens, y'all want to go silent, go into your war room DMs and come up with an excuse to try to make things sound better so you can look better on Twitter. The tell-all be-all, the end game is not looking better on Twitter. The end game is using Twitter to communicate and to express yourselves so you can get better as a gamer. Get better stuff in your hand as a gamer. Y'all have made it about the tell-all be-all about this platform. And this is where the stupid conversations coming into play. This is why I get dummies coming into my chat saying the most stupidest stuff. Even when they've been following me for 7 years. I can't take it anymore. We gotta pivot. We gotta pivot from those stupid conversations. They're stupid. Let me respond to the chat. Geek the Sneak says, what's up? He says, well, I have to watch advertisements. He says, this is why I don't like Twitch as much as YouTube. I understand, Geek. I understand. Well, here's what it is. And that's a very interesting point. Let me say that. And then I'm going to get right into more of the story, particularly how I predicted this was happening with Mike Yabar. Here's why I do what I do. And me and Cold Blood have this conversation all the time. He's like, dude, why are you on Twitch? Twitch sucks. Here's the problem. I don't trust YouTube. I've been burnt by YouTube before. YouTube, a long time ago, I was broadcasting something from Ubisoft, and I got a channel strike, right? And then so that took me down for a week. And then so when back then, this was like 2018, they took me down for a week. And when you got a channel strike back then, they were very sensitive to anything that you've done. So I got a channel strike, and then something goofy happened. It was something real trivial that normally, if I wouldn't have gotten that channel strike, wouldn't have meant anything. But it was something trivial that really I wasn't guilty of. They would have just warned me back then and said, you need to be careful. This is under investigation, whatever. But because I already had that channel strike that just occurred, they then decided to suspend my channel for 3 months. Right? I was on the heels of doing some serious things with the platform. I was in a groove, and they just cut me off at the pass for 3 months. And I didn't even have a presence on Twitch. So then I moved to Twitch. And then I started getting a presence on Twitch. And then I started running into people like Cold Blood Sensei and other people that came on Twitch. Paul Gang was there. A lot of other people were there too. And, our subscribers was banging. I mean, really, that was the most that our platform flourished when I was on Twitch. And I was really on an upward trajectory, about to hit over 1,000 on YouTube, because what ended up happening is when I finally got back on YouTube, I said, screw YouTube. Like, YouTube will be secondary to me, or it'll only be the thing that I do on weekends. I'm going to focus on Twitch. And then when I come to YouTube, I'll drop a video on YouTube. And on the weekends, I'll do a podcast, right? Early in the morning. But then Stadia happened. And when Stadia happened, I threw everything out of whack, and I couldn't maintain what I was doing there. If I would have kept what I was doing, our platform would be a lot bigger. But because I stopped what I was doing dead in my tracks and went over and wanted and saw the promise of Stadia and cloud gaming in general, trust me, I'm not saying this to say I made a mistake. I wouldn't take that back for the world, because all platforms died. Dreamcast died. Led me to Xbox. Xbox 360 game, and the Xbox OG gave me some of the best gaming I've ever had in my life. So you got to you got to break an egg to make an omelet, right? So that's what threw me off here. I don't trust YouTube, even though I prefer how the platform operates in some ways. I don't like some stuff behind the scenes, but I don't trust YouTube. When I stay dedicated to Twitch, and I normally operate in Twitch, is always better for the platform as far as our support in the long run. And then what I get to do is kill two birds with one stone. I can create something here on Twitch and then just put it on YouTube video, and there we go. You know what I'm saying? So I get the best of both worlds. If YouTube can become a more trustworthy platform and they can work on some things behind the scenes, I'm all for coming up with some way to make this more of a dedicated platform on YouTube, and then we just find out something else to do on Twitch. I'm open to that, but right now I just don't trust YouTube. Like the reason why I had to go through that whole monologue earlier and show you guys all the channels that I was on, and in case you missed it, let me do it real quick. Make sure you're following me on YouTube, MM2K Gaming News, MM2K Gaming Streams, and then MM2K Member Plus. The reason why I got to go through all that stuff is because of how the YouTube algorithm works. Like I said, I'm not out here to make a buck with this. I'm out here to at least have a footprint, at least to grow steadily, right? To have somewhat of an impact. Y'all can just tell in the veracity of how I speak. I don't speak for money, I speak for impact. I don't have an impact being stuck at 940 subscribers for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? And in order for you to grow on YouTube, you got to be hitting that algorithm. Well, YouTube changes how it accepts things. It's not good to have your shorts and this together on the same channel. If you're doing gaming news, but then you're doing gaming streams, if they're on the same channel, so I'm like, God damn. So what I did do is I separated my gaming news from my gaming streams. MM2K Member Plus, what you're looking at now, is just a combination of when I have stuff that's behind the paywall. Every now and again, I'll put a little sample out there for y'all to see what you're missing by not supporting the platform further. That's what MM2K Member Plus is. But on my other two channels, it's just a segregation of the gaming news and the gaming streams, because YouTube doesn't like that. They don't like to talk because here's what happens. Say, for instance, I do a stream and people like it. And let's just say after it, I get like 5 or 10 followers. When I do a news podcast after that, it's a double whammy. The streamer, the 5 and 10 followers that like me because I did a stream, they leave because they only came for the game stream. They don't want to hear the gaming talk, for one. And for two, YouTube stopped showing my stuff to the streaming people, because now the most current product is the talk. It's like the algorithm isn't smart enough. It doesn't know what bucket to put you into, or maybe it's something they're doing purposely because they just feel like that's the best way to handle the videos. So now I got to separate the streaming news from the game streams. And now we're actually in a positive. We haven't been in a positive as far as subscriptions in 3 months. This is the first time in 3 months that we're in a positive. And I've only been doing this for a week and a half. See? So that's why I don't trust YouTube. Twitch, I can put all that stuff on Twitch. It don't matter. It's just that Twitch is not the easiest platform to watch. Unless you're at home and I guess I don't know. It's a great platform to stream to. It's about to get even better, but it's not a great platform to watch from, unfortunately. All right, let's continue on. Cold Blood says, Geek, tell him I hate to, he is doing a Twitch. Steam is my favorite. Microsoft, I said, F them kids. That ish is so foul. Everyone called it though. Cold Blood said, yep, acquire and fire and repeat. Just wait till Sachi is a wet dream. AI is ready. AI is coming no matter what. I'm about to start capping for cash. Yeah, I don't want to have the dumb conversations anymore. I'm sorry. You can ask questions based off of what you heard from those creators. But coming here to argue and double down and you're a coat pony. I'm the furthest thing from a pony. I prefer PlayStation as my console platform. Cold Blood will tell you, gets on me all the time. You're like, you hardly play no games. You know what my most played game of 2023 was? Even though Spider-Man is my favorite game. You know what my most played game of 2023? Forspoken. And I got like 30 hours in Forspoken. That's the most I've put in any game on PlayStation. That's fraudulent. I get it. Even though I love I love the games that they put out there, but because my schedule is all over the place and I've started 2 new businesses this year and all this crazy stuff, it's hard for it. But that's why I love GeForce Now. It's so much easier for me to not only get into a GeForce Now game, but to stream it. In order for me to stream my PlayStation games, I gotta boot up another computer and go on my capture card on another computer. It's a cumbersome process. That's mainly why I haven't played as much, but I'm about to change that. But I love the PlayStation games. I love them. I just adore them. All right. So let's continue on. But I just wanted to show you guys that and make you understand that I don't think that layoffs are a funny thing. And I'm not saying that to people that are cracking jokes. I'm saying for those of you that were idiotically laughing at the Bungie layoffs or trying to make it a Sony thing, understand it's a tech bubble thing. We're in a $1 trillion tech bubble, and people are saying that we may not get out of this tech bubble till 2025. Now we got a whole nother year of this after this one. We may not get out of it until 2025. All right. But let me do this. Let me read some social media reactions, because this to me is amazing just to see how out of reality people are. And if you're an Xbox fan, like I'm glad to see Geek to Sneak here. Geek is an Xbox fan. He only agree if he agrees with anything. He don't agree with 99% of the stuff that we say here, but he's a supporter. If you're an Xbox fan, there is no reason for you to disappear or put your head down. Cold Blood may disagree, but I'm telling you, this is part of the tech bubble. It's telling, though, to the community, and it kind of nullifies a lot of the things that the community was saying, but Xbox is doing what a lot of us predicted they would do. You just got to be honest with yourself and say if you're okay with it. If you're someone like Geek to Sneak who's okay with the changes and the moves, then what are you upset about? If you're not okay with the move, then you got to ask yourself, what am I doing to speak out against what's going on? And B, if I don't feel like they're going to listen to me, why am I still supporting them? Is it because I hate PlayStation? I hate the brand PlayStation, or I hate PlayStation gamers? I remember when we were supporting Stadia, someone said, I like Stadia, but it's hard for me to support Stadia because of the community. To me, that is the dumbest MFing thing I've ever heard in my life. People like that, I don't want to deal with. That's why to this day, even after Stadia died and people put down their weapons and went and shook hands and said, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, we got into it about that. Oh man, let's be friends. A lot of y'all I still stay away from. Y'all are too weird for me. People that think like that, you're too weird for me. I play games. I don't play people. I don't stick my HDMI cord in the back of your neck under someone's areola. I'm putting it into a machine. Why do I care what you have to say when I'm playing a game? If you don't like what people have to say, don't look at it and just play your game. Don't make any sense to me. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. So there's no need to hold your head down. You just got to ask yourself a question. Are you happy? If you're happy, then so what? They're hitting in a trajectory that you're expected and you're happy. If you're not happy, then you got to start having honest conversations. All right. Let me continue on social media. It says, my brother Kingsblood said they were all just laughing at Bungie. Where are all these Xbox influencers? D-Batch, where you at, your jive turkey? Post up. Put that fish sticks. Hold on, I gotta put this up here. Some of this stuff is funny. These is from some of my broadband bully brothers. They are hilarious. Hold on, let me put this up here. Goddamn Kingsblood, man. Bro is sick. Here, let me put this up here. He says, they were all just laughing at Bungie. We're all the Xbox influencers. D-Batch, where you at, Jive Turkey? Wake Timothy Dog up. Post up. Put that fish stick sandwich down. Diller ain't no school today. What you waiting on the bus for anyway? Come lead y'all flock. They need the great... next year, I'm gonna like that one and retweet that one. And I'm not retweeting it because... I think the layoffs are funny. I'm retweeting it because, again, a lot of these, I think it's just a comical tweet, but then a lot of these creators, now they want to hide. What are you hiding from? If you were pivoting from the truth, you would have already predicted this anyway, like I did. But see, what happens is the stuff you were creating content on contradicted the moves that they're actually making. So now you gotta hide. If you're someone like Geek to Sneak, who the reasons why you like Xbox coincide with the moves that they're making, so you ain't gotta disappear. You can show up here. You can speak your piece. You can acknowledge yourself. But when you're out there lying, saying, oh, Xbox is doing this and that, just to compete with PlayStation, because you want to get super chats and money, now you got to run when this stuff happens because it totally contradicts what you were saying online. See what happens? The difference between all these people that he named. Even my brother Tim Dog, I love y'all. I love Tim Dog. You know I love Tim Dog. I vouched for him yesterday. Someone had brought up in the conversation that, you know, Tim Dog ain't friends with Phil Spencer, and actually he is, because Tim Dog had alluded in a tweet, oh yeah, I hear what y'all saying about Power World. I'm gonna send a DM. And someone reported, and that's what I'm saying. You got, I'm trying to be nice to this sector because sometimes they can be a little sensitive, but again, I'm frustrated today. I'm frustrated because y'all want to base what you listen to, what you don't listen to, based upon the personality instead of listen to what's being said. It's like what my brother Brian Gaming said. He said, you may not like what MM2K has to say. He doesn't say what you want to hear. He says what you need to hear. But whoever this person was that said that about Tim Dog, that just shows you how unacclimated they are to the discussion. Everybody knows, even people who can't stand Tim Dog, can't stand him. Everybody knows that Tim Dog and Phil Spencer are friends. They've seen Tim Dog on Xbox, the Xbox One X reveal thing where it was Tim Dog, I forgot the other guy, Megatron, and someone else. I think it was who was it? Was it Southbound? I think it was Southbound. And they know the history of BGST and Next Gen 720, and they know how those guys, well, particularly Tim Dog, Southbound, and Megatron, are close to Phil Spencer. They know that they game with Phil Spencer damn well every night. They know that Megatron X and Tim Dog were on the Xbox One X reveal show where I believe Satya Nadella was at, Phil Spencer was at, and what's his name? Major Nelson. He hosted it. And they were sitting right there with Major Nelson. But when you're unacclimated to what's going on and you're just speaking, you don't know this stuff. And that, I have to say, sometimes is symptomatic of the legacy cloud gaming community. Now that Stadia is not around and we kind of pilfer to a bunch of different places, we now want to speak about mainstream gaming and we don't understand the history. So we go out there and we say things like, oh, this guy thinks he's, everybody knows Tim has over, where's Tim Dog at? And again, I don't want to make this about Tim Dog because, no. All I got to do is this. What am I doing? I can close some of this stuff out too. Oh, excuse me. What is going on? Why ain't that closing? Oh, he didn't at Tim Dog. Let's do this. Let's do this. Well, give me 1 second. I gotta find. Hold on, how come I can't find Tim Dog? Hold up, X Cloud. There he goes. That was so weird. Okay. Tim has over 80,000 followers. He has over 80,000 followers. Why do you think Tim has over 80,000 followers? Because everybody knows that Tim knows Phil Spencer. They game together. I showed you guys the other day where Phil Spencer and Tim Dog, Tim happened to be in the vicinity that Phil was in. They called each other on the phone. Tim went to go meet him and share a beer with him. Why don't I have that bookmark? He went to go share a beer with him. He knows Phil Spencer. Hold on. This is so weird. Why don't I have? Okay. I really hate Twitter, how it operates. I wish there was a way. I would pay for Twitter Blue if they like actually had folders for your stuff. So it'd be easier for me to grab stuff. Here goes the tweet right here. Let me put it up here. And I know I'm getting off the topic, y'all, but again, I just want to provide cautionary tales to people who are having conversations not based off of fact. I'm tired of it, and we could do better. Like, you guys are not this stupid in your normal lives, right? Like, you guys. I'm assuming, unless you live in your cars or something, that you're able to maintain jobs and stuff like that. Here goes the tweet. But that's Tim and Phil. Tim happened to be driving in the vicinity. This is a bar that they met at. Tim was driving in the vicinity. Phil happened to be there. They said, "What you doing?" "Oh, you there? Oh man, look, I'm gonna stop by and let me kick it with you." And they met up and took a picture. They're friends like that. Y'all got to know what you don't know. And a lot of times, like I said, in that sector, there's a lot of conversations that are being had about what people wish to happen. But if you're going to transition from cloud gaming talk and you're going to transition to the mainstream gaming talk, then you got to know what you're talking about. Now, that person put that tweet out there and said that, this guy actually thinks Phil's his friend, but shout out to Purple Haze. Purple Haze brought it on home. What she said makes sense. She didn't focus on whether that was their friend or not. She said, look, the problem with the narrative of Tim being able to DM Phil and say, look, we need to buy Paul World. She's saying this is not how contracts work. But see, that's because Purple Haze is on the front lines. I'll just leave it at that. Purple Haze is on the front lines, so she knows better. See, a lot of you that, and Purple Haze has a strong business acumen. See, a lot of you want to sit here and get the Yeti mics. Y'all want to get the lights. Y'all want to get the PCs. And again, this person may feel like I'm not attacking you. I'm giving you some sound advice. I've been doing this for 7 years. And you can look at my channel and say, well, you've been doing this for 7 years. How come you only have this, that? Because I'm not doing this for solely clicks. This is all informative stuff for me. But if you want to balance it out more to where you do want to have a little bit more clicks and a little bit more impact, I'm telling you, start from a place to where your facts are on point. And learn from people with an acceptable business acumen, like Purple Haze is one. Where she said, look, she just focused on, you can't just DM a CEO of a business and say, look, this is what I want you to do, and you don't have any impact on that. You can pass along your suggestion. Yeah, he'll listen to you, just like Phil Spencer might have a cousin that might come to him and say the same thing. His brother or one of his daughters might say something. Hey, Dad, you need to buy Power World. He gonna do Tim just like he would do them. Oh, okay, I hear you. They're not on the board. They're not an employee. They don't supersede what Sachi and Nadella wants to do. He just hears what they're saying. He puts it in his stock bank. It's like, okay, got to go to work. And that's what Purple Haze is appropriately talking to. She says, look, that's not how business works. And that's why I said, everybody got to get it today, man. Even to some of my cloud people, I love y'all, but I see y'all trying to spread into the mainstream gaming space, and a lot of the conversation sounds silly. Y'all can do yourselves a lot of work, or do yourselves a lot of justice by listening to people like Purple Haze, like Clivey Linden, who have that business acumen. Listen to what they have to say instead of just congregating and having these wishful conversations. You'll do yourself supreme justice by doing that. Because if you want to make that transition into mainstream game conversations, people are not going to take you seriously. You got to know the basics, okay? So, but I thought that was an opportune time for me to bring that up. Let's go check out some more comments, check out some more reactions, and then I'll get into how I predicted this. All right, let's go back. That was a funny ass tweet from Garrett. Garrett is so stupid, bro. All right, let's see. Okay, they were laughing. I feel. Let's see some more tweets. Microsoft, Mike, your borrowed. When combining two companies, there will most likely be overlaps in a single role, and someone usually gets laid off in case layoffs happen due to, hold on, what is this? Everything depends on the acquisition strategy. I don't know where he's quoting that from. I don't see Phil being there by the end of this gen. I think his Xbox moves to third party. Nah, I don't think Phil's going anywhere. I think Satya and Phil, Satya has a game plan, and Phil's been effective in ways of executing that game plan. Would he like him to be more effective? Yeah, because they went and here's what I think happened. I think here's what the evidence shows us. I think the evidence shows us that Satya is all about the cash. Got to get the cash, got to get the dough. He's all about that. He don't care about gaming. If it can create money and create an impact for Microsoft on the cloud, that's what he's about. Phil, on the other hand, has this infinity to placate to the Xbox brass. He'll go in a direction that he knows makes sense, but he'll get pulled back because the Xbox brass will say something stupid, and he'll end up shooting, cutting off his nose to spite his face. And I think a prime example of that is how they handle Bethesda. You kind of hamstrung yourself on any future deals by handling the Bethesda the way that you did. I think Bethesda Games, I think any of these big acquisitions, I think they should be business as usual, BAU, for the next 3 years, for at least 3 years. Particularly because Xbox does not know how to handle these companies and keep them successful yet. Because they can't do it with their own products. They don't know how to handle this talent. They're still learning. They're not in a position like Sony where they've been grooming their talent heavily for a long time to get to this point. Like Naughty Dog, Phil Harrison said how Naughty Dog was groomed into just making cartoony games for Universal. They were groomed into the powerhouse that they are now. Microsoft hasn't done that. They tried to do that with 343, and that was a disaster because this regime doesn't know how to do that. They gotta know what they don't know. They gotta learn how to get better at this. So it should have been business as usual for about 3 years. 3 years is good enough for you to learn more about game development, what works, what doesn't work. So then you can start making some massive moves. Now, as far as there being synergies after the acquisition, I expected there to be some remedial, for some elementary overlapping. Yeah, we're going to get, you know what I'm saying? Like I even though I don't like what happened with Pete Hines, I kind of understand it because that was an overlap. I didn't expect a 1,900 employee overlap. I think that's too much too soon. Again, after 3 years, it makes sense because y'all got to understand what's going on here at Blizzard, how they're able to make these games, and how can you get better to supervise this? Because I don't think Matt Booty's the guy. But I don't think Phil's going anywhere. I think Satya is comfortable with him. I think Satya entertained him as far as entertaining the Xbox brass on the Twitterverse, and it didn't work. Them placating to the Xbox diehards on Twitter didn't work. So now Satya's like, okay, Phil, we tried it your way. Now we're going to go through the way I see fit. I just need you to execute. I need you to execute and advise. That's what I need you to do. And that's why you're seeing stuff like this. Where's my tweet at? Where the hell did my tweet go? This is why you're seeing stuff like this. This is a difficult process, but it's one that will best enable Blizzard and Xbox to deliver ambitious games for our players on more platforms and in more places than ever before. Why even put that in there? What is the purpose of, why even put that in there? Unless because you know this is going public and you're trying to send a message. And Satya Nadella sent the message loud and clear when he did that thing a couple of months ago, but it was just missed. And now he wants everybody, he don't give a damn about the Xbox Twitterverse. He don't care. He's already prepping the landscape for the landing. They already cleared out this is clearing out the land strip. When they land the plane and make their full-throated announcement about what the new strategy, the 2.0 strategy is, everybody's they're gonna fall out. It's gonna be like The Happening, where the trees put the psychotic pollination in the atmosphere and people start jumping in the wood chippers. It's gonna be like The Happening. He don't give a damn about the Xbox Twitterverse. I gotta make this money back. Let's continue to read some more stuff. Yeah, Odie said that he don't think Phil will be there. I think Phil will be there. Here goes a charming fella, Hoglaw. Folks, ABK was a full-fledged publisher. You don't need two separate back offices at one company. Pause a bit before sounding the alarm bells for the stop. Hogue, shut up. Hogue, stop. 1,900 people are not a back office. Shut up. Stop talking in these granular, using these granular words and using the ignorance of the people to try to diffuse what's going on here. 1,900 people are not back office people. The head of Sledgehammer was a back office person. He was critical in the development of the Call of Duty games that they made. Now people are in a tizzy about that. What are you talking about? I'm moving on. I can't have these dumb conversations. King Thrash is damn 1,900 people laid off. Mikey Barr quits and a AAA game gets canceled only 3 months in. Moment of silence for those who lost their jobs. Facts. Christopher Dring, the games industry isn't growing right now. Let's put this up here. I totally, this is where, again, we got to have the well-rounded conversations. Let's put this up here. Oh, this is a palate cleanser from the stupid stuff I just saw from Hogue's Law. The game industry isn't growing right now. Costs have increased, but revenue is failing. The same games are dominating the charts, and it's not clear where growth will come from. Things will bounce back, but until then, sustainability is the focus. Nightmare times. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. You get a like and you get a retweet from me. Jay Bori says, yesterday I questioned the game industry's success due to constantly seeing huge layoffs from these companies. Today we find out Microsoft laid off 1,900 people in the Xbox division. I'm not going to play what he says, but definitely go check out Jay Bori. James, he says he is nowhere to be found today. Let's see. Oh, we got a clip. We got a clip of Destin Legary. Let's see what Destin has to say. Oh, Lord Jesus Christ. Here, let's unmute this. Hold on. Come on. Why is I got this too big, that's why. All right, let's see this. Let's see this clip from Destin. Apparently he said something goofy. He is nowhere to be found today. Let's check this out.
I am so excited to see how the Xbox run Activision Blizzard is handled. I am.
I mean, that's just trolling and fanboy fodder, but I think it's funny. I thought Destin said something stupid, but nah, he didn't. Stephen Tatilis is worth bearing in mind that ABK deal was cheered on by major labor unions. Wow, this is a great point. This is a great point. Let's put up what Stephen Totilo has to say. He says, worth bearing in mind that ABK deal was cheered on by major labor unions because Microsoft had made a unionization neutrality pledge to win both their support of that of U.S. senators who expressed concerns over the deal's impact on labor. It's not interesting, and then they're getting rid of 1,900 people. I'm liking on the wrong account. And this deserves the eyeballs. These are companies. When you fall for this, and that's what was happening when the stuff happened with Bungie, and people were like, "Oh, PlayStation doesn't care. They're cutthroat. They don't care. Look what they did to Connie Bonner." Right? And there's like, look what Microsoft's doing in contrast. They're unionizing, and then they cut 1,900 people. Like, come on, man. Come on. That's not going to have an impact on the industry? 1,900 people? Stop. All right, let's continue on. Great point made by Stephen Tatilia. He says, if you hate what's going on in the gaming industry with constant layoffs, the easiest way for you to help is to support the game. Stop waiting for a game to go. Oh man, wow. Stop waiting for a game to go into a game service and support them by buying it. Help promote it by showing it off on your socials. Word of mouth helps more than you know. I know you can't afford to constantly spend money, but if you can, it's the best way. Wow, that is amazing. Let me see. Don't always agree with their takes, but kudos, my friend, for this one. This was a hell of a take. This deserves to be showed. This deserves to be showed, and I'm going to show it. And then I think that's the best take, and we're going to continue on with the show post. That was a hell of a take. Hell of a take. Fantastic. A hell of a take. Let's look at it. This is from Dano. Now he's an Xbox enthusiast, and I've seen him online. I've had a couple of interactions with him myself. When it came to the cloud gaming aspects of xCloud versus Stadia, I don't always agree where this person comes from. But this is probably the most sensible tweet that he's ever put out there in like the 2 or 3 years that I've seen him out here. He says, if you hate what's going on in the game industry with constant layoffs, the easiest way for you to help is to support the games. Stop waiting / hoping for a game to go into a service and support them by buying it. This is coming from a severe Xbox, dare I even say at times zealot. But now people are waking up and they're willing to have the reasonable conversations. Hold on one second. I hope people are now waking up out of their stupors. He continues on by saying, help promote it by showing it off on your socials. What were we just saying a few mic checks ago? That we don't see enough Xbox people playing these games. Instead, they're wasting 5, 6, 7 hours creating these stupid ass pony salt videos, and you don't hardly see them playing any of these games that they say are the best value in gaming. You don't see them playing any of them. And this is the same conversation that and I hate to be picking on Ron Slusher because Ron Slusher is a longtime supporter and we love him, but this is what me and Coldblood was trying to make Ron Slusher understand. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. But that's what we was trying to explain to Ron Slusher. Like, I get that this is cool. Like, I would love the gamer in me, or the fingers in my eyeballs would love for me to be able to turn on my PlayStation. No, the fingers in me would love to be able to just boot up my computer and day and date play PlayStation games off of their 4K 60 cloud service and play it off of play PlayStation Plus Essential. Every PlayStation game, God of War Day, I ain't got to worry about buying Grand Blue Fantasy. Everything is day and date in PlayStation Plus. My fingertips would love that. But the gamer in me with the capital G realizes that's not sustainable. Something has to give. Either less games are going to come out, less AAA games are going to come out, or the AAA games are going to be haphazard and rushed because they're not going to be putting their money and resources if these games are dropping day and date in a subscription service. This is not music. This is not watching TV. Music and TV is static. Gaming is dynamic. The average consumer only buys 2 games a year. And they're not buying the AAA genre defining games because at best maybe 20 million are being sold. There's about 20 million at a time are being sold. On a console, for instance, that has a reach of, like, when you look at the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, has a reach of almost 200 million gamers. Where's the other 180 million gamers? They're all playing Call of Duty and Fortnite. The majority of the player base plays those casual games. The AAA genre defining games are for the hardcore. They're bait for the hardcore. It's like you got to look at it like a cow. I hate to look at like livestock. If you want to have the best cow and the best chicken or whatever, you got to feed them good livestock. I mean, you got to feed the livestock good grass and stuff like that. They got to have good feed. That's why certain fed or grass-fed cows or whatever, that beef is premium. It's at a premium price because it's the best cut of meat that you're going to get out there. We represent that livestock. The hardcore gamer is the livestock. Why? Because the casual gamer just eats up wherever we flock to. We're the hardcore gamer because the hardcore gamers are going to let you know where the best place to play is. I mean, I can play Call of Duty on any of these platforms, but if I want to definitively know that I got the best box, I'm not that technically sound. I don't follow this news. I don't even watch IG and all like that. So where are the gamers going to? They're all going to PlayStation. Okay, well, I'm gonna go there. That's where I'm gonna buy Call of Duty. Or the best, or the hardcore gamer is the best one in my clan. So those AAA genre defining games, they're like the grass. They're there to feed us, the livestock, so we can bring in the casual gamer. So when you have a subscription service that takes all those games, those AAA genre defining games, and put them in a subscription service, the goal is to tantalize the casual, but the casual don't want those games. Like for instance, when I go to a supermarket, I don't want the grass that's fed to the cow. I want the cow. You understand what I'm saying? Someone clip this because I'm up here preaching. Fill the collection plate too. I mean, y'all can, hit me with some bits, or go to Cash App. What's the Cash App? $MM2K gaming. Y'all can, go to paypal.me/MM2K. Y'all can't help a brother out. Y'all can't help me get my Benz and my Lincoln, but we up here preaching. When I go to the supermarket, I want grass-fed beef, right? I don't want the grass that they're fed. I want to know that the cow has been fed the best it could be so I can get the best selected cut of meat. It's the same way when it comes to these AAA genre defining games. They are just there to feed us, the hardcore gamer, because the hardcore gamer is the lure to the casual gamer. So just like I don't want the grass, I want to know what the cows are eating. The casual gamer don't want God of War or Starfield or Halo. If they don't want that, they just want to know where we're going. Because they want to know where the best place to play Call of Duty and Fortnite is at. So when you put the thing that is to lure to feed the hardcore gamer in a subscription service, all that's going to do is make it easier for us to obtain and easier for us to finesse. We pay $15 a month or two, we beat the game, we go about our business. You lose money on the deal because instead of you getting $70 for said AAA game, now you're only getting $15, $30. It's common sense, but we had so many bozos in this industry that looked at the wrong business sector and tried to equate it to gaming, not understanding how gamers work. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense to have a subscription service. I think you can have a subscription service and have it be utilized in a profitable way by hardcore gamers. But you got to understand that has to be set up in a way that it's fit for the proper demographic. The way these subscription services work right now, they are for hardcore gamers. You cannot loss lead in a way and expect casual gamers to consume a hardcore gamer product. Just like I don't want, when I go to Aldi's or Whole Foods, I don't want the grass that's fed to the grass-fed cow. I want the grass-fed cow. So the subscription model for Game Pass, that's why we were critical of it. The way that it's being designed and pushed, it's being designed and pushed like its survival where it puts it in a place where its survival long term is based on casual gamers adopting it. They're not. If you want casual gamers to get into a subscription gaming service, you're going to have to put the top 10 casual games in it that are paid for. That's it. And then put it, and then make the price point annually close to what it would be if they just bought their 2 games. Like the casuals only buy 2 games a year. That's now $100, and then usually it's around $140. You got to come in at a price point between $140 to maybe $200 a year, because the casual got to then say to themselves, why am I paying this extra $60 a year when I could just buy these 2 games for $140? And the thing that reaches out to them is that extra $60 that they're paying annually by being in a subscription service is made up for in the fact that, yeah, you may only commit to 2 of these casual games, but guess what? We give you 8 more that you're on the fence about, that you would buy or that you would play if you didn't have to buy them, because you only want to dedicate to $140. Now, granted, we're asking for a little bit more, but we're asking for it over time, and we're asking for it towards games that you are on the fence about. We got 8 other top 10 casual games in this line. That's the only way I see it working. But trying to use music in movies that are static, meaning you gotta binge those, because once I consume an episode or a song, or more or less, maybe not music, but when I consume an episode, I'm done with the episode. I got to go on to the next one because I've seen what's going to happen in that episode. Gaming is different. I can play the same game, the same stage with the same people every day, all day, and get a different experience all the time. Gaming is dynamic. So the pay for subscription service that requires you to binge on the product does not work for the casual gamer. So you have to create a dynamic where the casual gamer is going to get the 2 games that they would normally buy each year. And for that extra $60 at max that you're asking them to pay, you're giving them other games they would be on the fence for. And that has to be other top 10 casual games. If it's not that, you're ass out. I'm sorry. And within those other 8 games, there has to be something that a casual might tantalize. So Dano was right. If you want to support this, if you want to, this is not going to eradicate it, but if you want to make this less of a negative impact, you have to buy the games. I still want AAA genre defining games to be out there. That's why I'm okay with what PlayStation is doing. Because can you imagine if PlayStation was doing exactly what Xbox was doing, trying to keep up? Oh my God, Bungie, everything would be dissolved. And they had to make cuts. Everything would be dissolved. They would be losing so much money. They already lost $85 million by putting Horizon Forbidden West in a subscription service a year after it came out. They lost $85 million, meaning they projected they were going to make $85 million if they would have left $85 million more if they would have left it a la carte. Because they decided to play around with this model and throw it in there, they end up losing $85 million. They end up getting less because they didn't make it up in new subscribers. So they were better off leaving it a la carte. So if that were to happen to PlayStation, imagine what would happen if they put their games day and date. And 2, imagine what's happening to Xbox in return. But they have the war chest of loss league like this. The question is how long? We're going to get into that in a little bit. But I think that's a perfect tweet by Dano. I hope he doesn't get lambasted for it. I think it's a great tweet. Cold Blood 6 is such a dumbass. He put black man preaching. Oh, this dude is stupid. I can't stand this dude. Geek to Sneak, that is disrespectful as saying a game is trash and didn't make my imaginary budget. What'd he say? Is Upwork 60? They're having a full-fledged back and forth in the chat. I can't even keep up with it. Coldplay, he says, what is else better in a year, in your opinion? And I just don't buy every game day one. I wait until they go on the sale to buy them. I'm not sure, but I do plan on getting Persona 3 and Hellblade 2. Yeah, the best. I would love for PlayStation games to be in a subscription service, but I know that's not sustainable. Something has to give. They would either make less of them, or the games would be severely watered down. Like, I hate to tell you, and again, I know Geek, you're going to fall on this differently, but when you look, I know AAA genre defining games. It's all I play. It's all I play, bro. I look at Indiana Jones. That's not AAA genre defining. That's an old Machine Games template, bro. Indiana Jones, like Cold Blood said, looks like a Unity kid. Looks like my son who makes games. Like my son made that character. Now, some of the cutscene animations, they look great. They look impressive. And the likeliness of certain characters is hella impressive. But a lot of that other stuff looks janky as hell. The actual in-game stuff looks janky. That's because it's on an old template. Like, when I mean an old template is like they knew how far they needed to develop to an acceptable level for how the gameplay looks. That is Microsoft having to scale back, not spending hundreds of millions of dollars on their AAA studios, just having their studios the AAA studios just create a variety of AA games. And then you can get away with it. You can get away with a AA game if you put an Indiana Jones aesthetic on it. You see what I'm saying? If you can get a big IP and put a big IP and make it look impressive in the right spots, you can get away with a AA game. Indiana Jones, by all intents and purposes, should be a AAA game, but it doesn't look like it is. And it's going to get away with it. And people seem to be happy with the presentation of it because of the aesthetics looking right in the right places, not throughout like how we expect a AAA game to look. It's kind of like their version of, it's like VRS development, variable rate shading, how that works technologically when it comes to game performance. It's like they've taken a VRS approach to game development. As long as it looks AAA in the right spaces, the rest of the game can be AA. And now we got an Indiana Jones aesthetic and the likeliness of him. Now there's that one part at the end where the guy breaks the vase and the supposed Indiana Jones is pointing at him and he's like, "No, did you know how much that cost?" I mean, I don't know. He looked like a Gumby character. That was rendered horribly. I don't know who did that one. They need to clean that one up. He looked horrible in that. You know how much that cost? I didn't know what I thought my son had drew a stick character. Like, what the hell happened to his eyes and his mouth? Why he look like that? Look janky as hell. But everywhere else in the more impactful scenes, cut cinema wise, it's really polished. Now you may be okay with that, Geek, and that's fine. You like what you like. I'm not okay with that. And I know a lot of AAA developers or AAA genre-defining gamers are not okay with that. Doesn't mean that it doesn't have an audience for gamers like you, Geek. That's fine. But for the gamers like me, that's not acceptable. So what do you do in that case if it's not acceptable? Well, you got to speak up or you got to go elsewhere. You can't cap for something that ain't coming. It's not coming. They just showed you today, it's not coming. You cut 1,900 people, Mike Ybarra is going, and the dude from Treyarch, I believe, or Sledgehammer, it's too early to let those people go. You don't know what you have in your hands. You don't know how to handle this. You don't know what you're doing. At least after a year of seeing things, I can see a year. Me personally, I would take 3 years, but maybe financially they don't have 3 years to wait. But so what I would do is at the beginning, I would make some of the most elementary cuts, you know what I'm saying? But then as far as the leaders and the people that shaped it, none of them would be gone. I'm watching them, observing them for a year. Then after a year, at least, after I pick their brains for a year, then they gone. It's crazy to me. It is what it is. And like someone just pointed out, Microsoft just became the richest company in the world. That doesn't mean that they don't have to make changes and make adjustments and, to coincide with the financial windfalls that might be coming. But to make something this massive this early, was it necessary? I don't think so. Like I said, y'all just took it again. Y'all have done this before, but y'all just took the reins from Apple. I don't think this was necessary. That being said, let's continue on. I think that was a great tweet. Okay, I think I'm done talking about what was being said. Let's talk about now the big synergies. I want to start with Mike Ybarra. This is why I did this show. Mike says, I want to thank everyone who was impacted today for their meaningful contributions for their teams to Blizzard and all players' lives. It's an incredibly hard day, and my energy and support will be focused on all those amazing individuals impacted. This in no way is a reflection on your amazing work. If there's anything I can help with, connections, recommendations, etc., DM me. To the Blizzard community, I also want to let you know that today is my last day at Blizzard. Leading Blizzard through an incredible time and being part of the team, shaping it for the future was an absolute honor. Having already spent 20 plus years at Microsoft and with the acquisition of Activision Blizzard behind us, it's time for me to once again become Blizzard's biggest fan from the outside. To the incredible teams at Blizzard, thank you. Words can't express how I feel about all of you. You are amazing, continue to do incredible things, and always keep Blizzard blue in the player front of every decision. To all those who impacted, I am always available to you and understand how challenging today's news is. My heart is with each and every one of you. All right, here's what I think happened with Mike. Okay, let me tell you how I predicted this first. Let me do this, because this is important that I show this. So, without naming names, a long time ago, I was having a discussion with a good friend of mine, and we were talking about how Phil Spencer and Mike Ybarra were not getting along. And I've talked to several gamer friends of mine that were close to Microsoft. Close, like they know not only Phil, but Mike Ybarra firsthand, like have like they can actually hit these guys up and have a conversation with them. They're good friends with them. They've had words with them. You know, they haven't always agreed on stuff. But these people were close to Mike Ybarra and Phil Spencer, right? So, Mike Ybarra and Phil Spencer did not get along. Why? Because Mike felt like that I want this to be a surprise to y'all. Mike had felt that okay, I'm sorry about that. Mike had felt that Xbox was not headed in a hardcore direction as it should have been. He felt like that Xbox was being why is this auto playing? Okay, let's do this. I'd rather do this because this doesn't want to work for me, and I don't want it to autoplay. Okay. So when Phil was made in charge, Ybarra was supportive at first, from what I understand. And then when he saw that Phil was going in this kumbaya, like casual approach, he was having this casual approach to gaming, he wanted to leave. I mean, not he wanted to leave. He didn't appreciate that. Mike Ybarra is a hardcore PC gamer at heart, and he has the aura of the Seamus Blackleys and the others that helped shape and mold Xbox into the juggernaut that it had become with the 360. They wanted to take those hardcore experiences that were selective only to the PC world and bring them to the Xbox console. That's what Mike Ybarra was all about. Phil, who's also a big time gamer, his experiences were more casual. He's more, I mean, he plays all games, but he's more about just connecting to a whole bunch of games. He's like more of a buffet gamer, where Mike's is more selective. And Mike, I think, was more embroiled and represented more of what the legacy Xbox executive was all about, right? So Mike Ybarra did not like a lot of the decisions that were happening. A lot of that stuff started coming out when Mike was starting to leave the company. When Mike, I mean, there were rumblings and there were rumors that Mike wasn't happy. And then Mike left the company and joined Blizzard. And then when Mike left the company and joined Blizzard, these things started to happen. And I made videos about them. Number one, I made a video 4 years ago about shots fired from Mike Ybarra versus Xbox and Microsoft. And then Mike Ybarra started praising the PlayStation 5 over PCs. And then there was other stuff where Mike Ybarra was just saying, giving subliminal shots to Phil. In my video, and I urge you guys and gals to go watch this, in my video called Shots Fired from Mike Ybarra versus Xbox and Microsoft, I show you where Mike Ybarra was taking shots at Phil, taking shots at his leadership skills, or how things were happening at Xbox. And I proposed a scenario that 4 years ago, nobody predicted, except for me. What did I predict? I said to Mike, and I also said, I said it to Mike in a video, and I also said it to my friend that has close connections to Mike and people at Xbox. I said, I advise you, Mike, to stop talking about Phil the way that you are. Xbox is going to be in a position where they're going to have to keep Game Pass honest. I predicted this 4 years ago. I said, who's to say that at some point in time, while Mike is sitting there sipping his coffee, enjoying his work at Activision Blizzard, that one day he doesn't get a phone call that says Microsoft just bought Activision Blizzard. I said, it sounds crazy right now, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. I predicted that 4 years ago. You don't believe me? Watch that video. Watch that video. I predicted that 4 years ago. Look where we're at now. I think what ended up happening was that nightmare scenario. Mike, I don't think Mike he doesn't like Phil anymore. He just doesn't. He doesn't like what's happened to the Xbox brand. He thought that the Xbox brand should have took more of a hardcore step to it, not in the hardware, but in the games that it was putting out there. Xbox didn't do that. And I don't think that this was just simply a firing. I think what happened was either somebody approached Mike or Mike approached somebody and said, look, I know there's going to be synergies here. Or maybe the discussion of synergies came up. Maybe Microsoft wasn't planning to get rid of Mike. Mike heard the synergies was coming and he offered himself. How do I know that's a plausible scenario? Because I and others at my company have done it. When we had synergies that were coming up because of redundancies after a merger, we lined up one by one and said in our one-on-ones and different meetings, hey, look, nobody is excited to get laid off. But hey, if I'm ever considered a redundancy, here I am. Why? Because in the United States, there are multiple. This is where you're clip this to, Cold Blood. Clip this, Cold Blood. He's like, mother, I don't work for you, but you're getting some purified business knowledge. Get out of your Colt Eastwood mumbling realm where nothing of any substance is predicted. Oh, Hellblade 2 is coming out May 21st. Who gives a damn when the game is $50 digital only and it's going to be a AA affair? Why didn't you tell us that, Colt? Why didn't you let us know that the vampire game, Redfall, I almost forgot it's so damn trash, that Redfall was going to be doo-doo soup? How come you couldn't tell us that, Colt? The game is punchy in the action. Screw that. Let them YouTube. Let them do their thing. I'm not hating on them. I'm just saying, for those that want to exercise this trickery and be looked at as some serious minded content creator when you're just simply entertaining. And there's nothing wrong with entertainment. I love entertainment. Like I said, I love loving hip hop. I love seeing stupid rich people act a fool. It's entertaining to me. I'm not listening to them. I'm not putting down War and Peace and saying, you know what, I'm really going to get something educational from here. let me rip up and burn my copy of War and Peace. No, I'm not doing that. I understand what it is. So you got to understand what that is. But here you're getting some real business education here from someone with corporate, here goes Geek to Sneak's favorite term, Fortune 500 experience. Now we're Fortune 100. And that's all I'll say. Fortune 500 or Fortune 100 experience. The reason why I put that out there, that it's likely that Microsoft said, hey, look, we're doing some synergies. And, you know, Mike, we got the utmost respect for you. So we're going to need your help in doing these synergies. But at the same time, you're going to be part of them. But we want to let you bow out gracefully. Or even Mike knowing about the synergies, planning it with them and saying, hey, look, I know I'm not supposed to do this, but you know what? If you guys want to make me part of the synergy, fine. Why would Mike even do something like that? Like I said, other business people that I, including myself, have made that proposal. Now, it didn't happen for me when I asked to. It was about to happen. They said, oh no, we need you. Why would they do that? Because whenever you have in many states, and I don't know if this applies in these offices like in Washington or wherever Activision Blizzard is at, it may apply there. But in certain states within the continental United States, when you have a merger and there are redundancies made because of a merger, not only do you get your normal compensation package that you would get just by getting laid off for any scenario, but in places like Pennsylvania, for example, you get an additional 2 years. I mean, no, you get a month, you get an additional 2 years of severance. They give you 2 years of severance, and they got to pay you for school. If you go to, they got to pay for your schooling for 6 months. That's in the state of Pennsylvania. So if you get laid off because of a merger and you're considered a redundancy in the state of Pennsylvania, they gotta give you severance for 2 years. And then for 6 months, they got to pay for your schooling. So if there's any type of additional compensation, so we were chomping at the, we were like, what? You're going to pay my severance for 2 years. And then in my company, what they did is they gave you 2 weeks for every year of service. So for someone like myself, like at the time I had did 20 years, so I would have had 40 weeks, which is almost a year within itself. Then I get an additional 8 months of unemployment on top of that. We're talking about almost 4 years. I get laid off and I'm out for 3.5, close to 4 years. I ain't got to work and I'm getting a paycheck. We were chomping at the bit for that. Mike is going for the same thing. And then here's the beauty about it too. That 2 year additional compensation that we give in the state of Pennsylvania, and that 8 month for those 8 months for every 2 weeks that the company gave, even if you do find a new job, they can't touch that. Now the unemployment, you don't get the unemployment if you find a new job, but literally, if Mike wants to, he can sit on his ass, and if this happened in the state of Pennsylvania, he can literally sit on his ass for 3.5 years. Because he would get 2 years for the state compensation for layoffs after mergers. If he was working for my company, he would get 2 weeks for every year. And I don't know, I mean, he may not get that much because he was only at Activision Blizzard for a year. So he's not going to get anything there, but they might have another compensation plan for someone at his level. He's an exec. So he might have had another compensation plan where he automatically gets 6 months because he's an exec or something like that. So of course, under a scenario like that, if I really don't like Phil, if they offer that to me, and they probably offered that to him because they know he don't like Phil. So whether they offered it to him or he offered himself up, Mike is cool. He's happy with the decision. Trust me. Did he get laid off? I feel like he got laid off technically, but was it like, oh man, I didn't want it. Once he found out the nightmare scenario happened, as we predicted 4 years ago, watch the video. Matter of fact, let me do this. If y'all think I'm capping, I'm putting the video in the chat. Let's see here. MM2K predicting the Mike Ybarra departure after ABK deal. M2K 4 years ago. 4 years ago. That's why I don't do what everybody else do. I actually have experience in this field. I know ad nauseum. Geek just like, why you keep bringing up Fortune 500? Because y'all are listening to a bunch of dummies out there who are trying to get your clicks. And y'all get all creamy knuckle because they got a whole bunch of numbers next to their name. They've just become masterful at lying to you and making it sound like something, and y'all just fall for it. Oh man, I love you, man. You got 600,000 followers here. Meanwhile, you're getting the truth over here and don't want to support. You know what I'm saying? I don't get y'all, but it is what it is. That's why we created the platforms that we create, because it's going to be a cyclical effect. You want to support, you'll get great content and you'll get great access to great stuff, and we'll give back as well. Like I said, we got over 40 Xbox codes. I got a bunch of PC codes we're giving away through the Discord. As a matter of fact, let me do this too. If y'all join the Discord, let me do this. I'm putting the link to the Discord in here right now. Let's see I should have done this earlier. No. Let me do this here. I didn't even think about this. Let me do it this way. MM2K, I don't have an open channel, but I'm going to do this in the deals and giveaways. Let's do this in the deals and giveaway section. I'm going to make this a thread. No, I don't self-promo gaming general. Yeah, I'm gonna do it in the deals and giveaways. Okay. How a giveaway. Tell me how you think the MS layoffs will impact Xbox gaming in the future. One lucky winner will get, three lucky winners. 3 lucky winners will get Xbox code. Can I make this a thread? I'm gonna put talking about this live on twitch.tv/HNDC. Okay. And then hold on. Jump? I don't want to jump. Let me see. Copy message link. Okay. So here it is. Giveaway. Giveaway link. Here's what I'll do. And then I'll pick a winner. I might pick a winner today. I'll pick a winner tomorrow. If you go to that giveaway link, that forces you to join the Discord. If you put an answer in that thread, you'll be put in for a raffle to get one of these 3 Xbox codes that I'm giving away. So yeah, we're giving back to the community as well. But again, do yourself a huge favor. I'm not begging for anybody to join and participate. You're doing yourself a disservice by following these idiots. Listening to someone that's preaching to the choir does not keep you informed. So one day, if this all goes away and you're lost in the sauce, you're not going to be able to rebound from it. You've made all your investments in here. You were relying on a subscription service that is no longer here. What are you going to do? But if you listen to MM2K or listen to someone that's speaking from a factual plane and you're looking at my credentials, why I keep mentioning Fortune 500, and you look at the predictions that I have made, how they've outweighed your favorite YouTuber, then maybe when I say something that should make you think critically, it'll prompt you to make a decision that'll be best for you as a gamer. And you can look back at that and say, damn, oh man, I'm glad I was listening to that show, or I was listening. We're doing something to help impact you as a gamer, regardless if you like what I like or not. That's what we're trying to do. I predicted what was happening with Mike Ybarra. And I told Cold Blood Sensei to clip something. I know he's like, bro, I don't work for you. Anywho, but Geek to Sneak says, I take that 2 years off and become a streamer and get some free stuff. Yeah, exactly. Angry black man. Hey, yo, Cold Blood, he's an asshole. I love it. I love it. Angry black man gets his paycheck. This dude is crazy, bro. He says something about vampires and trash. Oh, God. That's funny. Anyway. Yeah. Do yourselves a favor. If y'all respond in that thread, I'll pick a winner after tomorrow. After this airs tomorrow. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll give you guys an opportunity. I'll put it in the description. And after it airs, I'll pick a winner. You'll get an Xbox. I'll pick 3 winners, and each of those winners will get an Xbox code. But that's what I'm saying. We predicted what was happening with Mike Ybarra, and I think that's what happened. I think Mike Ybarra said, you know what? I'm cool. Now, Geek to Sneak says, I'm sure he had to sign an NDA. Yeah, he probably, yeah. Yeah, whenever you get a severance package, like I said, trust me, I've been there. Whenever you get a severance package, a non-disclosure agreement is part of it. You gotta say, I accept in order for you to start getting paid, in order for you to start getting your severance, you gotta say, I accept the terms of this severance. That's a clear-cut statement there. You sign it, you send it back to the legal and HR, and then you start getting your checks. Like I said, I've been laid off 3 times from the same damn company. And I'm still there. Ain't that crazy? Like I said, the first time they laid me off was because my company, I mean, the business sector that I'm in was just, they were like, oh no, this is just too ambitious and it's not being utilized as much as for it to be profitable. So they were closing the department. Luckily for me, I got picked up by another department, but there was a week where I was not working, but I was a week that, you know, it was like a vacation. And I ended up getting paid for it. I was laid off. So I was off for a week, and then my start date started, and it was like, you know, and I went on to another department. The second time I actually spent like a month off, and then we renegotiated because they realized, or I think it was like a couple months, like 2 or 3 months off. And then they renegotiated and came back. I got a severance package. I had to give up my severance package because I actually came back to the same department, but I didn't have to pay the money back. That was just a hit that they took on the insurance. And I never couped. I could have filed for my unemployment, but because I didn't, they could actually bring me back in, because once you file your unemployment, you're not allowed to come back to the company for X amount of time. That's law. It gets complicated. So because I hadn't yet filed for unemployment, I was able to come back because they realized, oh crap, we made a big mistake. We need this guy for this program. Now, the third time I actually didn't get laid off. They approached me with it. Oh, hold on one second. I'm sorry. I tell you, marriage is the best thing. Anyway. Yeah, the third time I actually didn't get laid off. They came to me with a package proposal, but it wasn't good enough. I said no. The problem is for them, I make too much money. I make the money that I make for, let's just say, let me throw this out. Throw this out there. So let's just say there's 10 levels to the top, right? The CEO's compensation is considered level 10, right? So I'm like a 7. Or 6, a 6 or a 7 on that scale. Probably anywhere between a 6 or a 7 on that scale, I would say. I wouldn't say quite a 7, but I'm like, because what they were doing is I was getting primed for a 7 spot, and then a bunch of things at the company changed, and midway through they stopped giving me these increases. And then what ended up happening too as a result is when those things changed at the company, they changed their whole management protocol, and I was like, I don't want no parts of this. Like, I'm not managing under these conditions. It's ridiculous. And I had enough tenure and enough time there to where they were like, okay, well, where do you want to go? And I told them, I said, well, put me on special projects. And ever since then, that's what we've kind of had our back and forth. But yeah, they were priming me for 7, so I'm kind of like at a 6.5. But the work that I do the work of like a 4. You know what I'm saying? The work that I actually do is of a 4. I'm only managing one database. It's a very important database, a very complex database, but it's a database that was created that I had to create and own on my own, because our client managers kept going and earning business by making promises that we were not able to do in order to win business. And so we didn't have any schematics in our systems in order to keep record of these things properly and monitor them. And that's where I came in. I said, well, I can create something that is mostly automated, but requires management, you know, because there's just some aspects of this that have to be looked at. There's no logic that can be put into a machine or into a program that can do what needs to be done in order to monitor all these moving spaces. So that's why I work from home, and literally I'll get up at 4 because my reports come out early in the morning. I'll get up at 4, and at most I'm done by 8 normally. So I have like a 4-hour day where I'm monitoring stuff, and then my day's over, and that's where I start creating content. I start prepping my content, and I start creating, going live around 10, 11 o'clock. So that's why I'm in the predicament that I'm in, to where they kept approaching me for a third time. Because I just make too much money for what I'm doing. But they put themselves in this own predicament because they created an application. I mean, they created a dynamic where they need me because of this stuff that they were promising people that they couldn't do, that they feasibly didn't have a grip on. So call that job security for your ass. Anyway, he said MM2K commits tax evasion. Oh man. Geek to Sneak says, are y'all chatting after the live? Maybe so. Maybe we will chat after the live. Geek to Sneak, make sure that you're following us here, bro. Yeah, why not? Why can't we? Even I got to go to work early. When I mean work, that's the other business that I do. YouTube at MM2K Gaming Streams. Yeah, make sure you're following us there too, Geek. All right. So let me start wrapping this up, because we're at the 2.5 hour mark. What does this mean for the future? Well, now I want to close up the whole thing about Mike Ybarra. I think Mike Ybarra was happy to leave, whether they approached him or he approached them. I am in particular, I'm concerned about Mike being gone, though. And then this Vonderhaar is gone, and he was a significant player within Treyarch, from what I'm understanding. This is a tweet from one of the people that are like up in arms about this, is Jay Barry. And he put out something similar to, so I think These are not situations where these people just decided to leave and they decided to do it. Like, either these people knew they were being asked to plan for these synergies and they offered themselves up, or they said, you know what, you got enough respect here, we're going to treat you better. How about we're letting you go too in the entire team, but we're not, that's why we're letting you know in advance. But we need your help for these synergies. Now, in some case, now there's a third scenario. I've seen this happen before too, where companies tell people, you know what, you are not, you're not included in these synergies or these layoffs because they need you to help. There's not that much respect there where they'll tell you in advance. And it makes sense for a business not to tell you in advance. It may sound grimy, but there's a lot of stuff you can do to it. Especially if you got special access. Let's just say if you're upset about it. Some people get emotional about that, even if it does affect them. Screw this company. I never liked these people anyway. And if they got special access, that special access, they can do a lot of damage on their way out. So it makes sense for a company not to let you know until that moment. So a third scenario is they told Mike prior, oh no, you're just going to help us plan. We got somewhere else for you to go. And then when that day came, they told Mike, you know what, Mike, you're going to be part of these synergies as well. But we're not going to announce you. We want to let you leave with your head up high. You mean so much to Blizzard and we got so much respect for you. How about we say this? If you decide to say this with us, then this is the package that we're offering you. To go with the fact that we're springing this on you. They would sweeten the deal, and because they sweeten the deal, maybe they throw in an extra year. You know what I'm saying? Or they throw in an extra 6 months. They sweeten the deal so we go along with the script, and it doesn't look like that he was synergized as well. That's the third possibility. I've actually seen that happen. I've seen that happen to our big boss. Our big boss was over in a particular, another area next to ours, and he thought he was just planning for that area to go. And then come to find out when they were letting that area go, they pulled him into the office and let him know that he was being let go too. And to keep him compliant, they gave him a nice deal. They sweetened the deal because he had to move. Our big boss was located somewhere in another state. So when he came to us to manage us, they had to sweeten the deal because he's like, I only moved here, moved my family here for this job. Oh, don't worry about it. We're going to pay for you to go back if you want to, or whatever, along with giving you XYZ. So he was happy. He was happy as a fat kid in the candy store. He was Gucci. But that's the third scenario. And to me, now that I'm talking about it, that may be the most likely scenario. Because they needed Mike in order to do the synergies that they needed at Blizzard. They need Mike. And a company, and being that you had that strained relationship between Mike Ybarra and Phil Spencer, they probably didn't want to let Mike know in advance. So they probably just made it sound like that they would put Mike somewhere else. Mike probably had an inkling that he wasn't going to let, maybe he didn't. And then when the time came, they let Mike know as well. And they said, but Mike, we got so much respect for you. We don't want you to go out like everybody else. We want you to go out with your head high. How about we've structured a package for you, but along with us structuring this package for you, we need you to sign this NDA, as Geek to Sneak alludes. And in the NDA, you're promising to go by these talking points. And if the deal is sweet enough, Mike will sign it and he'll say, you know, I think all three of those are plausible. You know, the conspiracy theorist in me, I'm gonna go with scenario 3 now that I think about it. That's probably what happened. But I don't think he's distraught. because whatever the case is, Mike would have been highly compensated. I think Blizzard was his dream job, but I think that would have been completely eradicated the moment he was under Phil Spencer, because he knew what was coming down the pike. We've been warning you since 2018, and Mike Ybarra was there. He was part of those discussions. He knows what Microsoft was doing. So do you, even if the third scenario is what happened, do you think Mike is torn apart? He may be, you know, it might be bittersweet in some ways, but I don't think Mike is torn apart. He would have been compensated well. And from what I understand, I just don't think he likes Phil Spencer. I don't think he likes Phil. I mean, you really have to have a negative feeling towards someone, for someone like Mike, the professionalism that he's part of and that he omits. For someone like Mike to take the digs, the unnecessary digs that he was taking at not only Xbox, but Phil, even though it was only like 2 or 3 instances, it was still out of character for him. In order for that to happen, you really had to have some animosity. And I really don't think that Mike likes Phil. I don't think he likes him. I think it's gotten that far. It wasn't just, oh, I don't agree with your business decisions. He don't like Phil. So his dream job automatically became his nightmare. He's like, I just can't escape this guy. So, all right, let's cap this off. Lee says, did Moss just say women are too emotional to be in positions of power? Oh, no. What gave you that indication? What does this mean for the future of Xbox? Well, for the industry, again, it just solidifies that there is a big time tech bubble that we're not out of the grasp of. We're nowhere near the end. And for any of you that wanted to make this an Xbox thing or a PlayStation thing, you're now eating humble pie. You're now eating crow, raw, unplucked. Stop talking stupid. In addition to that, I think what it means for Xbox is that, like I said earlier, Satya Nadella no longer cares about what you guys think should happen from a Twitter perspective. Those days is over. They now want you to understand that, again, let me show you in case you haven't seen it. Oh, now I can't find, let me show you. That they are now positioning themselves, Blizzard and other companies, to deliver ambitious games for our players on more platforms and in more places than ever before. They don't care about what y'all think about trying to make PlayStation look salty. They don't give a damn about that. Screw you. We've placated to you guys under Phil Spencer. We placated to you guys for years, and it has done nothing for us. Like Dano said, all y'all want to do is indulge games on Game Pass. That doesn't help us because you're not doing it in large enough numbers. So if you're going to do it at these minuscule numbers, again, and people, 33 million is the largest out there. Xbox needs y'all at least at 60 million in order for the math to be mathing. But they make $1 billion every quarter. In order for Microsoft to make $1 billion off of sales alone, all they need to do is sell 5 million of their games a month globally. You're trying to tell me with their entire catalog of games, Microsoft can't sell 5 million games a month? You're trying to tell me that if Starfield was actually the quality that was supposed to be, or even if Starfield was what it is now, and it was only available via sale, you're trying to tell me that when everything was said and done, that Starfield alone for the first 6 months wouldn't average 5 million in sales? I got a lake to sell you if you believe that. Starfield, as mediocre as the gaming populace may feel that it is, was a big ticket game as far as conception was concerned. It could have easily, within by the end of 2023, had 20 million in sales. If it was multi-plat and it was only available via a la carte purchase, easily could have had 20 million in sales. It wasn't broken like Cyberpunk 2077, and Cyberpunk had those type of sales by the end of the year. So you're trying to tell me that just off of Starfield alone, they could have reached that. In order to reach the billion quarterly that Xbox gets from Game Pass, all they need is 5 million in sales to match that. They can easily get that off their lineup. They can, and that's just off their lineup. That's not including the AAA or other games that they have in Game Pass. If there was no Game Pass, they could easily get 5 million in sales a month. That's where y'all don't understand business. That's where we talk about laws. What was your earning potential off of this product? Okay, because you put it in this business model instead of going with the traditional business model, how much did you lose? Like under the same scenario, Sony lost 85 million by putting Horizon Forbidden West in the subscription service, because if they would have left it a la carte, they would have had 85 million more in revenue. Off of Starfield alone, for at least 4 months, they could have made 5 million. They could have averaged 5 million in sales. So when y'all sit there and talk about, well, Game Pass is generating $1 billion, y'all are not analysts. Y'all are not good at math. Y'all don't understand how crazy that sounds, that you think that's a good thing in comparison to what they could actually be earning. Then when you factor in Game Pass, you got to then take away all the money that they're paying for these third-party games to be in there. You saw the chart from the court documents and how much they wanted to pay this one and that one and this one. Then you got to factor in the partnerships, not with just EA and others, but then they got Discord and Disney Plus. That stuff costs money. You're not paying that type of money with just a la carte purchases. The same games that you have in Game Pass, if Game Pass didn't exist, you're getting more in sales. So even though $1 billion is a high number, it's still lower than the number they would be getting if they just sold those games. Stop looking at high numbers and getting creamy knuckled. Do some analysis. Okay, it's $1.25 billion, but how much would they make off of sales? Are they surpassing that? No. This is a business. It's about making money at the end of the day, regardless how you do it. The end goal is to make money. Why? Because if you're publicly traded, you got to make money to get more investors. The investors want to put $1 in. They want to get $1.25 back at the end of the year, or at least $1.12. Can you do that? Now, some things are more bearish than bullish as far as your investment. They're loss leading right now in this sector. But once they dominate the way that they're supposed to, my dollar is going to equate to $1.50. So it's more complicated than, again, what these goofball creators are telling you. Even if it is $1.25 billion, it still cannibalizes the sales revenue, because the sales revenue would be higher. You can't, again, off of Starfield alone, Starfield would have made 20 million by the end of 2023, easily in sales. You splice that up over a 6-month period, or 4 or 5 month period. They're making up the bulk of the 5 million in sales off of, even if we're just counting first party. All they need is 5, maybe 6 million in first party sales. If you're if you're factoring in Steam or other platforms, if it's multi-plat, 5 to 6 million in sales. They got that off of Starfield alone for a quarter. That's not factoring in their entire catalog of games that they have. And that's not factoring in the third-party games that they have. That if they sold those games a la carte, how much they're missing out in sales. That doesn't factor in that Microsoft is paying to have these games in Game Pass. They don't have to pay, for the most part, for these games to be put on Xbox. They're probably paying for ports. If it's a Japanese game, they probably got to sit down with a Japanese developer and pay for a port in that scenario. But for the atypical game, it just makes sense to the developer to put it on Xbox. So it's going to go on Xbox normally. They're not Stadia, where Stadia had to pay $10, $20, $20 million for a port. Xbox isn't doing that. Maybe for Japanese games they're doing that, but they're not doing that for the average game that's out there. They didn't have to pay for Alan Wake to be, unless they had the marketing rights. The only time Microsoft pays for a game that's an a la carte purchase is if they got the marketing rights. But they're paying way more than that to get the game in Game Pass. So the games that they do see, they're seeing more cut out of it to get the game in Game Pass. So with that said, Dano is 1,000% right. Xbox gamer, you don't like this? There's something you can do. Number one, think about supporting a game that's not in Game Pass. Like, stop making, if it's not in Game Pass, I don't even. If it's a game that you're on the fence about, fine. But if it's a game that you truly want, don't sit there and say, oh man, I hope that thing bombs so it makes it in Game Pass. Like, think about support. If it's a game that you know you want, buy it. I get games that you're on the fence about. That's different. But if you're here listening to this, then you're a core gamer. It's the only reason why you know about this podcast. Core gamers at least have one game a year, maybe even a quarter, but at least one game a year that they know they want. Buy it. Buy it. Buy it. You don't want to listen to me? Listen to the Xbox fanboy himself, Dano. Buy it. And regardless if you're buying a game or you're playing it on Game Pass, promote the goddamn thing. Show it on Twitter. Do something. That is the thing that eats me up the most about Xbox gamers. Y'all want to talk all this stuff about PlayStation this isn't sustainable. Spider-Man is buggy. It ain't this. Power World does Power World that, and I don't see no damn game footage. None. Why you want to see my gamer score? Because you're fronting. Show the damn games. Let people know why Game Pass is a value. Y'all do all this talking about how PlayStation is ripping you off this and Xbox is, and y'all don't show nothing behind it. Nothing. Say what you want about these PlayStation creators like Thrash or whoever. Yeah, maybe sometimes there might be a little bit of Habuki science behind trying to just do something to clown Xbox. There may be a little bit behind it, but damn it, they're playing games. I remember when Jay Barry and them was doing the little tournaments in New York, the arcade tournaments and stuff like that. I remember when Thrash going online, playing Tekken with other gamers and all, and to this day, run it in a game with me, run it. Y'all don't play no games, man. Stop it. And for those of you that are playing games, let other gamers know why this is so great, why it's a benefit to them. Show it. Don't just use multimedia to lap Phil, to sniff his seat when he stands up. Show the damn games. Because you're not doing the things that Dano says in his tweet, Satya said, F y'all. I gotta make my $80 billion back. Not listening to y'all. I run Microsoft, not Twitter. I don't give a damn about what y'all saying on Twitter. I need y'all to pay for this stuff. I'm getting mine's back. You damn right. Prices is going up. Subscription is going up. We're going to have some layoffs immediately. I'm getting mine's back. We tried placating to y'all. I tried doing it Phil's way. Y'all don't support this enough. I'm getting it back. I don't blame them. Y'all so full of it, man. It's crazy. All y'all want to do is congregate on Twitter. That's all y'all want to do is congregate on Twitter and cry about PlayStation. That's all y'all want to do. That's all y'all want to do. Satya said, "The hell with that, bro. I'm getting mine's back." He said, "I'm getting mine's back." I do not blame bro at all. Let me see something. Shoot. We tried every which way to placate to y'all. Oh no, y'all mad about Bethesda possibly going multiplat instead of it be, if Bethesda goes multiplat, a lot of the stuff that y'all see that y'all don't like don't even happen. Microsoft ain't even got to do them 10-year deals. Word life. They ain't gonna. You know why them 10-year deals came about? Because people like Google Stadia and others were able to say, see, they want to take essential games from the cloud gaming space, which is an emerging market. They want to take it from the cloud gaming space and they want to now make it all about Xbox so they can dominate in cloud gaming. They can dominate on the cloud. That's why all of the regulators that had the biggest say in this, FTC, CMA, and the EU, were willing to pump the brakes on the deal unless concessions were made. It just so happened that Microsoft worked with the EU on the concessions and hoped that the concessions would be good enough for everybody else. And that wasn't the case. But EU wasn't passing that unless certain concessions were made, because they looked at the practice underscored by what they did with Bethesda, and they said, yeah, this is a problem, a potential problem. If Microsoft doesn't do that with Bethesda, if they just play coy for 3 years, they just sit there and maybe hold off on Project Orion with Stadia, but just play cool with Stadia and do this with other platforms, and don't make Starfield. If they just play coy for 3 years, there is no precedent for there to be concern. You know why? Because you know what they say? They say we still got Bethesda releasing games on Stadia. We put Starfield on PlayStation. None of this ever happens. The only reason why this happens is because Phil placated to y'all. And what did y'all do? Y'all didn't show up. All y'all did is said, oh, okay, good, suck it, pony. Now you don't look good on Twitter. You don't look good on Twitter. Okay, we won. We will go back to be sitting there waiting for games to come to Game Pass and not buy anything else and not support and show off the product no other way. Satya's looking at this. He said, what the f is going on? What? No, y'all ain't. Oh, hell no. And guess what? Bro came through and said, guess who the Xbox fanboy's final boss is? It's me. I'm getting mine's back. I'm getting it back. Prices is going up. We're changing the subscription. And there's going to be layoffs. And guess what? There's more coming. Why? That face you see on the screen. He's not playing. And I'm letting them know. I'm letting the cat out the bag. We want to be a publisher. It's all about what we can do on other platforms. I don't give a damn. Y'all didn't come through for me. All y'all worrying about is how y'all look on Twitter. As soon as you get what you want on Twitter, y'all recede back into y'all roach cracks. The cracks in the wall with the other roaches. Y'all ain't out here buying no games. Y'all are not helping pump up the subscription service to fellow gamers or not. I don't see no footage out here. Meanwhile, the PlayStation people, all you see is greatness, PlayStation share, greatness. You see it all over the place. I'm done. I'm getting mine's back. That's the fanboy final boss. It ain't Jim Ryan. Hey, tell somebody, go tell my boy Sean, he better go get, I can't stand Satya Nadella's shirt. The hell with Jim Ryan. That's the Xbox fanboys final boss. It's Satya Nadella. He's like, I'm getting mine's back. I'm getting it back. I completely agree with Dano. Y'all need to get on y'all damn job if y'all want to see a better result. What does this mean for gamers altogether? It's gonna be it's a tough time, man. I hope people like Mike and others, after they come back from Cancun or whatever, you know what I'm saying, them body massages and, throwing it up at the club. I hope when they come back, they are staples again within the gaming business. Because, look, that's what's happening. This is why the quality of games is what it is now. I know we had a stellar year in 2023, but that was a unicorn. In order for the ingenuity and the innovation to continue to flow, we need game developers. We need the best of the best. This is why BioWare, we don't know when that new Mass Effect is coming. This is why they're having a hard problem. Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda, this is why they're having problems. All of the veteran leadership left. They're like, we're tired of the state of gaming. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And I hate to tell y'all, the money is at the root of it. Our expectations for AAA genre defining games keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but we want to contribute less and less and less. We're hearing crazy conversations like there is no game worth $70, even though the price of making said games a long time ago has quadrupled and the price has remained stagnant. It hasn't gone up to it hasn't been adjusted fairly to go along with said price, with said costs. It's going to come out somewhere. And the veterans have left because of it. Like, we no longer want to be part of this. And it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. And this $1 trillion tech bubble might be the beginning of something horrible. But the only thing I can say is support. If you are enjoying games, if you enjoy a title, this is what I don't understand from people that talk this pirate. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Clip this too if you can, Cold Blood. Then I'm going to end. And then maybe we can do some content for an hour or something. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm not going to have time today. But we'll prep for NRO podcast tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not going to have enough time. But let me say it because I didn't intend to go this long. Let me say this. Excuse me. These people that you're listening to now are hacks. Like even those that advocate for piracy. Let me give you my background. My brother was big on, he was a big PC gamer and he was big on pirated content, right? But he knew some of the biggest hackers and pirates globally. Like there was one guy that lived by us. I was telling Cold Blood about this story the other day. There was one guy that lived by us and he made national news. He was a good friend of my brother's too. Back in the early 2000s, the FBI, because he was distributing movies, and this is when the pirated movies and LimeWire and all that stuff and the music, the government was trying to figure out how to get a handle on this stuff, and they was raiding people. They was really like cracking down on people and giving people stiff penalties for distributing pirated stuff at any level. They caught you. So what ended up happening was our friend that lived close to us, the FBI raided his house the first time, didn't find anything. He laid low for a little bit, started doing it again. Thought he had enough VPNs or whatever blocking and stuff, but the FBI tracked it to him again. This time they were smarter. They're like, no, something's going on. They came to his apartment and they brought dogs and they brought axes and they tore down this mofo's walls and found a crap load of wireless hard drives all in his walls. This is early 2000s. Do you know how much wireless hard drives cost back then? This brother had something elaborate happening. So I know I've seen it myself. I've seen where my brother put me down with some of these people, and I've seen these people had capabilities. I remember I was in one chat with somebody, and the guy was from the Midwest, and we was talking to some other bozos somewhere else. Another bozo just kept twerping at the one guy, and all of a sudden the guy disappeared. And I said, "Oh, I wonder what happened to him." He said, "Oh, I just zapped his machine. I had his machine zapped. It's probably a brick now." I said, "What?" I said, "What? Huh? Yeah, I don't want to mess with you, yeah." So I know something about the hacker and the pirate scene. All right. That was years ago. That was decades ago. I got time for that. But here was a rule of thumb. Even the honor amongst thieves, I guess, even though it was still wrong, taking intellectual property that belonged to somebody, any way you do it without their consent is wrong. But there was even still at that an honor amongst thieves. Here's what they would do. The Cold Blood stupid. He said MM2K says y'all stupid and can't tie your shoes. Here's what they used to do, particularly when it came to games. If they saw something that they liked, like they would pirate a game, would download it or whatever, get it however they got it, And if they liked the game, they wouldn't buy a copy of it. If they didn't like the game, they just uninstalled it and said, okay, I don't like this. This is trash. Under no circumstances did even we're talking about the big names in the hack game. Under no circumstances was it okay to pirate with something that you enjoyed and skirt. So all these people out here that are trying to advocate for piracy and say all this other stuff that don't believe in supporting, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, I'm not trying to justify the thieves' honor thing, because like I said, taking intellectual property that is not yours and handling it any way that is not permissible by said owner is wrong. But to those advocators of piracy, the true blue pirates, you know what I'm saying, and hackers, even they had a standard. These hacks that you're listening to now, these entitled hacks, they have no standard at all. Stop falling for people with these high numbers. They're just placating to your ignorance. You're just placating to your ignorance. But that's it. That's it. He said, this is slavery. I will not stand for this anymore. All right. I'm sorry, Cold Blood. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. I don't want to treat you like a pal in Pal World. I'm sorry. You did a great job today. Now, thank you, everybody. And sorry, I wish I could do, but by the time I get something going, like, I don't even have an hour because I got to get ready for work. Oh no, am I lying? I might have some time. Yeah, because I don't have to do it because yeah, you know what? Let me end this now. Thank you all. And then Cold Blood, give me 10 minutes. I'll meet you in Discord and then we'll plan something and we'll do something on the MM2K gaming streaming channel. We'll do like a pew pew chat. All right. Well, thank y'all. Appreciate everybody. Thank you for coming. Big time news. We'll talk about what's going on over there together. Until next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.